Well, we got a bright and windy one today, but I'm thankful for the 72-degree weather in Ohio in February, so I'll take it. I'm going to go ahead and replace the Serpentine and power steering pump belt. Like I mentioned in the previous video, everything wrong with this $800 POS, so I want to get that belt replaced before I even drive this thing anymore. Alright, so as you can see, it's pretty freaking tight in there. I can't even get my arm down in there without removing a bunch of stuff. So I'm not even sure if I can get to it from undercar. I'm thinking the best angle of attack is probably going to take this wheel off and take that plastic splash guard cover in there out, just like how you would do if you were changing the timing belt and whatnot. It's probably going to be the easiest way for me to get to it in there. Lifting it up here to service this belt, and there goes all the coolant that was stuck between the heads. Alright, so here's now with the wheel removed and this plastic cover that was in the way. You see the pulleys there. There's just a bunch of these deals, a little Phillips screwdriver plastic things. There was one bolt holding that shield up in there. So now you can see the Serpentine belt here. The Serpentine runs up front here, and this one right here is the power steering belt. It runs behind the Serpentine belt, so you got to take the Serpentine belt off to get to the power steering belt back here. And look at this. That's what I was talking about. She's done for. It's a miracle it didn't snap. So yeah, once I discovered that, I did not want to drive it anymore until I get that replaced at least. Obviously it's still got the major coolant leak, but you know, you can keep topping that off. I'm not going to be doing that very long though. I'm going to get that fixed here too. I keep finding surprises. I knew this would happen. Check this out. That's your sway bar link there. It's completely busted. So yeah, there's another one to add to the list there. Explains a lot. So right there's the Serpentine tensioner, and I don't know if it's both are like this, but these are rather strange compared to the ones I'm used to. That's the adjustment bolt there. There's like, at least on this one, there's like a multi-bolt system. You got to loosen one or the other of these, and then use the adjustment bolt there to get it loose there. So it's not just one simple bolt to release it. You cannot put a breaker bar on the other ones that bend down, the spring loaded or whatever. These have this multiple bolt system, so that's interesting. So anyways, I'm gonna get these two belts off of here, get them replaced, and hopefully no more squealing and power steering lock up afterwards. Alright, I thought I'd just throw this in for those who find it interesting or want to know if you're attacking this yourself. So you got to loosen this, and then loosen, well, it doesn't really matter the order, but you got to loosen both so that you can relieve the tension on the Serpentine belt there. And then on the power steering one back here, it's the same thing. So this is your pivot bolt, but you also have to loosen the other mounting bolt up here, or it's not going to want to pivot because that bolt's so tight. And then the bolt that runs out the bottom is your tensioner. There's that. I found it easier just to take it out personally. Still couldn't quite get enough room to get the belt out there, so I just popped the whole thing out, and now you can see it's plenty loose, so now I can get it out no problem, and I'll just throw it back up in there. So it's not hard at all, it's just strange. There's the power steering belt on that, and yeah, as you can see, it was just completely fried, and this thing is very dry rotted. So I did spin the pulley while I was up in there. It spins freely, no excessive bearing noise or anything like that, so hopefully it's just the belt. I mean, it certainly looks like it's the belt, but there is still a potential possibility, there could be seals in the power steering system or something that are bad that could still cause the juddering of the steering wheel and whatnot, but hopefully the belt is all it needed there. I also checked out my tensioners while I was up in there. The Serpentine tensioner has a little bit of bearing noise, but it should be all right. I'll just keep an eye on it. Well, I got the new belts on there. So far, so good. Won't know till we get full weight of car. I still got the other side up. Go take it for a spin real quick. If you guys are doing this yourselves and you want links to the belts and whatnot that I used, I'll put links in the description for sure, and probably pin a comment to the top as well, but I always have links in the description for the parts and tools I use in the videos. And there again, you can see the coolant issue I have. It's not small by any means. So yeah, it's not very drivable until I get that fixed. Alright, let's see how this thing does. I'll tell you what, it's turning way better. So at a minimum, that belt at least helped tons, but I think it's just that belt, guys. I mean, you saw it. All right, let's try a left-handed turn here at this. Need to shift. I mean, yeah, so far so good. So I'm gonna shut this off and do some more serious driving here and test it out. Alright, well, if you can hear me over this wind, so I have not had any issues with the steering now. I've been out driving for about 10-15 minutes, taking hard corners and whatnot, so I'm having zero issues now. So thankfully, the pump is good, and it was just the belt. Anyways, hopefully you guys could hear me there over the wind, just smashing the microphone there. So yeah, belt did the trick. So next video will be on to fixing something else that this thing needs, probably that coolant leak, because I wanted to get that steering issue fixed because it was almost undrivable, and I knew that belt was going to snap at any moment. And obviously I'm losing a ton of coolant, so that's the next thing. Once I get that coolant thing fixed, then I would say it's somewhat drivable, although the suspension's completely shot. Again, if you missed it, check out the previous video. I went over everything that this thing needs addressed, at least that I'm aware of up to this moment. So once I get that coolant leak fixed and then the suspension issues taken care of, then we can actually go out and rip on this thing. Again, thanks for watching. Links in the description, possibly pinned at the top for the belts if you're doing this yourself. Check out the previous video if you missed it, and I hope to catch you on the next one.